And welcome back, everyone, to Box Office Report. Today on the 16th of November, 2025. So, I did not get the box office right at all. We're going to have to talk about why. I haven't looked at any of the actual numbers beyond, like, the initials. This is not good. So, Now You See Me, Now You Don't actually debuts at number one with $21.3 million. The Running Man debuted with $17 million. Oof. Predator Badlands took a 67.5% drop. Now, I don't think that's not good, but I think there's a reason for that. Making only about $13 million in the second week. Regretting You makes another $4 million, taking very low drops, amazingly. And Black Phone 2 manages to hang around in the top 5 for one more week in at number 5 with $2.6 million. Let's talk about the big guys here. Now You See Me, Now You Don't debuts worldwide with $75 million. Now, hold on. I think I looked up Now You See Me, Now You Don't earlier because I was getting the budgets and everything ready for the end of the year box office. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. What was the budget on this? It wasn't like super high, like 200 million, but it wasn't small because it is the third movie in a franchise. And so usually, this increases. Okay, so it was $90 million. Yep, okay, $90 million. And by the way, don't look at that in terms of like the plot. Oof. And sorry, my knee is hurting a little bit. So you know what? Honestly, this could have been a lot worse. But this still isn't great. Like, let me quickly look up here the other Now You See Me movies. What did they open up on? Let's see here. Now You See Me. Okay, so the first one came out. Wow, this is a decade-old franchise now. Holy hell. So the first one came out in 2013. Opened to 30 million. It actually didn't 29.3, but let's just say 30 million. Actually didn't open that strong, but it still ended up making 351 million against a $75 million budget. So obviously you make a sequel. 1000% you make a sequel. 3 years later, we get Now You See Me 2, which didn't open as large, but made almost as much. So that's something. And now we actually, and let me double check that. It almost made as much. So, you know what? Maybe, they take a little time to, work out the kinks. They still see some potential in this. So, honestly, 21 million might look bad on paper, and it probably is. Against the $90 million budget, not great start. But it's clear, if you look at the numbers, this film has always made its money back internationally. It's never made it back domestically. So when I say this is the movie's franchise, or this franchise is dead in the water with this opening weekend, no, I can't say that. The numbers prove that's not the case. Now, however, I think it's as low as it is for two reasons. One, franchise has never opened domestically all that high. But let's take a look at those numbers again, and I mean the years. We have 2013 for the first one. Okay, sequel comes 3 years later. Makes sense. 9 years later for the third movie? I'm sorry, this is a Mad Max Paddington 2 scenario all over again. Like, there's a difference between something like Top Gun Maverick, which was decades old at that point, but you were able to, but it had developed such a beloved fan base and cult following at that point, and there was still more story to tell, instead of essentially just making a movie franchise because it makes money. That's pretty much it. Like, there was no guarantee Top Gun Maverick was going to be a hit, but I mean, we showed it was, or Tom Cruise showed it could have been, or what it was a hit. So I think you waited too long. I'm not saying 3 years, because I mean, if you do the math on that, that would have been 2019. One more year, we were about to hit the pandemic. And I mean, let's be fair. We always need to go back to 2020 and 2021. The pandemic threw everything off. So in actuality, this movie probably would have come out about 2 years ago, as opposed to right now. So it would have still been a while, but 7 years as opposed to 9 years is a little more of a forgivable distance apart. And again, it's not like these films make top dollar. They make decent money for what they're made on, but they're not game changers. So, am I surprised that it opened to what it did? I wouldn't say I'm surprised. Not really. Maybe a little surprised that it couldn't have opened a little higher. Because these are all really likable actors. These characters they play are pretty fun. I don't know. The one I am a little surprised about, based on the good reviews the initial reactions, is The Running Man. Now, I say that. First off, The Running Man. The Running Man. What was the budget on The Running Man again, 2025? It was not a cheap movie. Now, again, not a $200 million film, but it was not a cheap movie. It was made on $210 million. Now, what the budget is, like the marketing budget, it didn't have. I like the trailers. I thought the trailers are fine. I've heard some people say it wasn't the best trailers, and to be fair, they're not amazing. They're serviceable, but serviceable isn't getting people in the seats. I guess $110 million budget. I have to assume we're creeping in on the $200 million total range. Let's say it's $80 million. Let's just say that for now. Or $70 million. Until I can get an actual number or find an actual number, I'm going to have to do my best estimation. And to be fair, I didn't see much trailers beyond what we got. They might have even kept the budget on the low side and done like only $50 million. Which, if they did that, would be good. Unfortunately, those initial reactions weren't able to save this from the overall reactions, because the overall reactions from the critics, last I checked, had this film at 60 some odd percent. Let's see where it currently stands now. And I don't even know what the audience has said yet. The audience hadn't given their reactions yet. Now, I overall like the movie. I think it falls apart in the last act, right around a third of the way, in the last quarter of the film. Actually, that's perfect. Last quarter of the film, when a certain character leaves the film, that's where it starts to kind of fall apart. And I've heard that's kind of the people who didn't love it. That's kind of what they felt too. And I would agree with them on that. So it holds a 64, which is fine, and a 79, which is decent. Somehow, Now You See Me, Now You Don't holds a worse score of Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, but a better score from the audiences. So go figure. And Predator Badlands beats both their asses. And rightfully so. I will take Predator Badlands over The Running Man any day of the week. And I didn't mind The Running Man. I enjoyed it. $17 million, though? And only 11 internationally. Oh, that's not good. Unlike Now You See Me, where that one actually still, we know for a fact, can build on the international market. That one still's got a shot at making its money back. It's also made on less, so that helps. This film's gonna take a Paramount. Like, I've been running the numbers, and again, my math is correct. The numbers I use might be off, but it's the general gist of it. Paramount, Lionsgate, not having a good year this year. In fact, they're in serious trouble for this year. Now, granted, some studios have better years than others, but man, are they having it rough this year. Rough. This might be Paramount's biggest flub this year. Not even kidding. It's seriously, I guess the $110 million budget, not even taking marketing into consideration. Let's just say 110 was the total. Let's say 110 was the total. The film would still have to hit $165 million just to break even. Do you look at that number and think, oh yeah, 165 million? That's easy. The question is, what happened? What happened? It had good initial word of mouth. It's got okay reviews. Not amazing, but 64 is not, go out and take the family. And the trailers were bad. So what happened? My guess is this, and it's a kind of mix of all of these a bit, but trailers didn't grab people because I think the subject matter feels a little too on the nose today. Because let's be honest, it's a lot more topical today than it was back in the day. I think while Glenn Powell is a great actor, and he does have draw. Again, that one with Sydney Sweeney's name I keep forgetting. That did really freaking well. Him and Sydney Sweeney were apparently really good in the movie. He's great in Top Gun Maverick. Twisters. He's got draw to him. He does have He's got a lot of star power. Probably star power doesn't do it like he used to anymore. It still helps. It helps if you put a good actor or performer in a movie. It's not going to hurt it. But unless they got controversy to him. But it's not enough anymore. And look, unfortunately, you factor in maybe lackluster trailers, or trailers just weren't grabbing people. Because like I said, this has a weird tone of the Fall Guy to me, where trailers were solid. I enjoyed the trailers, but we saw the trailers for Fall Guy for far too long, and it looked basically like a streaming film. So I think people just said, well, I'll just wait till it comes out streaming. Okay. The Running Man kind of has a little bit of that tone as well, unfortunately. In fact, you know what? Now that I say it, I think that's exactly what this film's problem is. It is good on the big screen. It is. But I also feel like I could have, if I had been watching this as a Netflix original, I would not have been shocked. And I think that's a problem. Streaming won't kill the movie theater business in the way you think it will. It's like people aren't just going to go, well, we're not going to go to movies anymore. That's not what's going to happen. They'll stick, because we've seen them. Things like Lilo and Stitch, Minecraft, Jurassic World Rebirth. People still go out to the movies. 600 million. There are still people. Now, granted, those numbers are down, but apart from what the movie theaters are doing to screw themselves over, raising ticket prices, all that, you need to be able to market your film well. Marketing is the king of getting getting the asses in the seats. If you don't market it well, with streaming as it is right now, people will look at something and ask, do I want to spend all this money to go out and see something? And if the answer is no, well, then the answer is, I do want to see it, but I don't want to spend this much money. Well, I already have the streaming service it's going to come out on. I'll just wait till it comes out streaming. That's how streaming kills, the theater going industry. Maybe not kills it, but that's how it hobbles it. That's how it cripples it. So, unfortunately, Running Man, I think, is the latest casualty of this symptom. I think Fall Guy was another big casualty of it, and every once in a while there are other casualties as well. Predator Badlands dropped 67.5%. That sucks. That really sucks. This movie's great. Now, the international is obviously it was able to pick up a bit too. In fact, honestly, the movie is picking up some steam, at least internationally. So it's currently at 136 million. Great, but it's made on about 100 million. Not great. We still got time. It's only its second week. Let's be fair. But 67.5%. That's not a good drop. That's the kind of drop where most films can't recover from. Now, we'll wait to see if that's going to be the case here. I hope it's not. Fingers crossed, I hope it's not. But why? It's got great audience reviews. It's got great critic reviews. The people who liked it enjoyed it. It's fun. It's action-packed. It's got some humor. It's kind of the whole package. So what happened? I think it's two things. One, you had Running Man coming out. Now, Running Man didn't make a lot this week, but it still made 17 million. If you didn't have Running Man coming out and Now You See Me, which isn't really that close, but it's still kind of the two new guys on the block, two big movies. If you just had one of them, Predator Badlands makes maybe an extra 5 million this week. I feel insanely confident to say that, actually. So I have no doubt that played a factor. But beyond that, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I don't normally go out to see a movie more than once unless A, there's nothing else out really, and B, I really, really, really enjoyed it. I did consider maybe doing Predator Badlands again, but it does come off to me like a movie that might not do a lot of repeat viewing initially. It's unfortunate because it's a really good movie. I would want people to support it. I really would. But I don't know. Maybe the international is really going to kick off. And I did say that Running Man was probably going to be the biggest hurdle for this movie. I think now that the biggest hurdle's gone, yes, you still have Wicked for Good coming out this week, which I'm really looking forward to. You still got Zootopia coming out the following week, really looking forward to. But honestly, until Avatar, there's nothing genre specific that competes with this thing. So this thing might have better legs in like the next couple weeks. For next, like, instead of dropping 67 points, maybe it drops like 40 something % next week. Maybe. I'm hoping. Cause otherwise, it's just rough. It is rough right now in the movie theaters. And again, the movie theaters have been raising their prices, which is stupid. And again, it's a response to inflation and them needing to, make their own money, but it's also because Hollywood's making their movies more expensive. Because movie theaters are making their tickets more expensive because Hollywood's making their movies more expensive, and you see the problem here. So yeah, and also, getting audience interest back in the movie theater going experience. That is partly also, we are becoming a bit of a lazy culture. A bit. We are becoming. We've always been somewhat of a lazy culture. I mean, you've seen people who don't take care of themselves, you know that for a fact. But I mean, you know what I mean when I say this. We are becoming less inclined to go out. We're becoming less inclined to be active socially. We'd rather, and I'm very much like this. I'm very much an introvert. I like to stay home. I like to just watch things with my girlfriend. But I still go out and support the movie theaters. I'll still go out to the bar and hang with friends. I still go out in the world and do things. I still got to work in the world. So, I don't know. But it's weird because you get films like Predator Badlands, which drops 67.5%, yet you get something like Regretting You, which only drops 39% this week. And according to this, it's now officially profitable. Because it made up about 30 million. So if you do the rough math, it didn't have a huge marketing budget either. So it's probably more like 20 million. So you do the math, it would have to make about 75 to break even. It made that. Now it's running on empty a little bit now. It's still only got a little bit left to it. But you look at this, and it went up. Not up, sorry. It dropped 42, 14, and 39% respectively those 4 weeks. So it's not that people aren't going to the theaters to support certain movies. For some reason, they're just not going out to support these movies. Which begs the question, what is it about those 3 movies that, I mean, granted, Predator Badlands had a great opening weekend at a 40 million, highest opening weekend of the franchise. But Running Man and Now You See Me is roughly on par for where it normally would end up. But Running Man, why did no one go out to support Running Man, even with the overall positive reviews? It's a good question. Black Phone 2 is continuing to tear up the box office. I shouldn't say that, but continuing to make a little bit, continuing to add a little bit on there. Good for Black Phone. Can't say much more against Black Phone. I enjoyed the movie. It was stupid, but I enjoyed the movie. Nuremberg actually takes a pretty solid drop, only dropping a third, 33%. I'm not saying it's going to make its money back, but hey, that's something. Keeper, the new Tatiana Maslany film. I'm not sure what's going on in the film. I'm not sure if I don't know if I'll actually go see the film or not. Probably not. Sayers Oil made her also dropped to 45.1%, 2.3 million. I mean, good for it. Let's see here now. Chainsaw Man, the Reza arc, 168. So yeah, that's pretty done too. Like, there's not much else to say about a lot of these movies. Oh, did Wicked get re-released? Oh, Wicked was re-released a little earlier ago. Okay, cool, good for it. Oh wow, it actually got a nice little bump from that, didn't it? Is that Tuesday? Because it was originally at like 727 or 717 million. It's almost at 760 million. Who knew? Good for it. No, legit, good for it. Again, I'm really looking forward to Wicked for Good. I've heard, frankly, nothing but good things. Keep your expectations though to this. It is dark. It's less fun than the original, from what you know, because if you've seen the stage play, you know that the story is going into the more, let's call it the more mature themes of the movie. And I don't mean that like some adult kinky way. No, I mean like the more like the identity crisis, good and evil, good and bad kind of things about the movie. Not to say there aren't going to still be songs, that there still won't be jokes or something like that. It's going to be a bit more of an emotional blow of a movie, from what I understand. Die, My Love, 977. Again, this was probably going more for Oscar buzz. Oh man, Tron Ares, man, I just feel so bad for this movie because I enjoyed the movie. I did. The fact that it's most of its run, Predator Badlands has basically caught up to its. Think about this. It's pretty much done its run. It is pretty much done its run. It's about 140 million. Might make an extra couple million. Predator Badlands in 2 weeks, even though it's not doing great, is still doing way better than Tron Ares because in 2 weeks it's about 300 million off from its total. Oh man. One battle after another made about 500,000 this week. Hey, it hit 200 million and is still completely and utterly not profitable. Moving on. Like there's nothing else to say. There really isn't. Hell, there's nothing else really to say about most of these. So this week we got Sisu. Sisu 2, Road to Revenge, which, hey, me and my girlfriend watched the first Sisu. We enjoyed ourselves. Rental Family, the new Brendan Fraser movie, and of course Wicked for Good. I don't think I'm going to be in the minority here saying Wicked for Good will be number 1. I think that's a safe bet. I think we can all get behind that. But I will say Now You See Me, Now You Don't will probably be number 2. Why? When 2 other films are coming out? Well, Sisu, the original, didn't even open up to much. And Rental Family is looking like it's going for, again, more of an Oscar crowd, so it's probably not going to be opening to double digits. So I'm going to go Wicked for Good. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Ooh. I will still take The Running Man. I will take Predator after that. And then I'll put Sisu? Because it's a sequel? We'll see. I'm amazed that like that original Sisu must have been made on chump change to be able to, because it barely made anything. Hold on, what did the original Sisu make? Sisu. Sorry, Sisu. Okay, so Sisu, the original Sisu came out 3 years ago, made $14 million. Like I said, this thing must have been made for chump change. Not even $1 million. It had to have been. So now we got Sisu Road to Revenge. It's already got an international release of $1.6 million. Who knows? But anyway, that's my thoughts on the box office this week. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.